Hey, what's up guys? And yeah, two what if series are ending in one day. But don't worry guys, because new what ifs are coming up soon. But I hope you enjoy the journey and follow with me. And thank you because I really did enjoy the journey. Thank you for all of your help and your support guys. But today is the last time you'll be hearing me say what if Naruto was sent to the Marvel world guys. Yes, the ending episode. And yeah, also go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto was from the two greatest clans, and I enjoyed that guys. And I also posted the last episode over on Anime King 2 of What If Naruto is a Deceitful God. So go ahead and enjoy it as well guys. But don't be sad because you already know new what ifs are coming up soon, and I really hope that you guys enjoy them. And also remember, if you're new, to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. And yeah, without further ado, what do you say we begin this last episode? Let's get straight into it.
I think the girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I think the girls with their
So, the last spot we left off, Naruto met Spider-Man, quickly finding out that he was a kid. As Naruto told him his fighting demeanor is all wrong, as she showed him a few stances. It was still early in the day, so he has to get to school. As Spider-Man wasn't sure about it, but Naruto promised he wouldn't tell anyone about his secret identity. As he gave Naruto a wrong name, as Naruto brought him to school. As after hearing the woman calling Peter Parker, Naruto decided to play a little joke on him as the principal arrived. As Naruto told the principal that he was in the process of getting mugged by a group of girls, as Peter had to accept it since he didn't want to get into trouble. As Peter then went to class, as Naruto was standing near the principal looking at him, as the principal asked for autograph. After that was over, Naruto was walking out as Jessica came upon him, as the both of them went to a rooftop. As Naruto told her to not tell her superiors about this, seeing that the kid is not really in anything right now. No one really has their eyes set on him, so she must not bring him in the spotlight. The way he said it, it was a clear order. With that, Naruto and Jessica went, as Tony was having a meeting. As spectators and a lot of people were there, as they were talking. Meanwhile, back at the base of operation, everyone arrived, including Sherry and her guard, as they started to set up everything with Ileana. Meanwhile, Tony gave his speech as he introduced the new members of the Avengers that is under the American Code, him, and Knight, also Wanda, and Rhodey, and also Natasha, as they are the new Avengers. As people are asking about Captain America, but Captain America is going to stay out of this right now, as he doesn't sign the accord. As they want to know about the Maelstrom as well, as Naruto stepped on the stage to give a speech. Some time passed after that as Naruto was home, as he was training with Peter, showing him a few things here and there, as his clones were all around the room helping everyone else. As he was trying to see if Ileana can learn Sage Mode, as he showed her how to meditate, as he went into his mind. He looked for Frasier, but she was not there. There was another man there. As he told Naruto to call him Call, as he was basically time and everything. He was one of Frasier's siblings. Seeing that she was death, he was time, he was in the future, in the past. As he showed Naruto alternate dimensions of him with a family, him as a cowboy, him evil and taking over the world. As Naruto asked about this future, but the man told me he wouldn't tell him about that. He can show him different dimensions, but he wouldn't tell him about the future to come. So yeah guys, that was basically that's where we left off. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself. So, what do you say we start this episode? Cole was talking to Naruto. Of course I believe in fate, Naruto said. You do, Cole said. The thing you don't believe in is manufactured fate. Ever that might be. Neji, Gamabunta, Hagoromo, people telling you about their task or anything. Well, trust me, there is a real fate. It exists. And everything. And just because my sister have a soft spot for you, that doesn't mean she can change anything. Your people died for a reason. That was their fate. And that what led you to this. Don't forget that, kid. A long silence went on between the two of them until Naruto spoke. So what now? Caldens pointed up. The girl is knocking. Might as well wake yourself before she poke at you. Girl, Naruto said, a little confused. He then remembered, oh, Ileana. I better head out, he said. As he got up, a doorway opened up. Tell Frisia I said hi. It was nice meeting you, I guess. As Cole did not respond, he just looked at the river in front of him. As Naruto exited, Frisia arrived. Naruto said hello, but I'm sure you heard. Frisia scoffed. It wasn't my intention for you to talk to him. What are you doing, Eternity? He smiled. I'm just making sure our mutual friend keeps on his right path. No way better to do that than some face-to-face chit-chat. You done your darnest to warn him away from the situation that is coming. From the decision that he had to make. Do not deny it, but being sneaky is not much of a workaround. All I've done is show him that there's more than one path to take, Frisia said. He turned and looked his sister in the eye. No, there isn't. Eventually, the river of time will douse the flames of life. You should stop intervening. You know if you intervene further, you know who will come. I know, Frisia said, looking away. I'm just trying to look out for you, sister, said Cole. I know, she said. Meanwhile, Naruto slowly opened his eyes as Ileana was poking him. As he swatted her hand away, Spider-Man, Owen, all of them were looking down at him. Back off, jeez. Enjoy your nap, Ileana said. I told you not to stay up so late. Naruto stood up as he stretched. I wasn't napping. And it's not my fault. Owen would have kept watching the show New Girl without me. No way I'm falling behind just because he's selfish, Naruto said. You don't have to watch it with me, Owen said. You guys watch New Girl? Peter asked. Naruto and Owen turned towards him. Oh yeah, it's amazing, they said. It's alright, Ileana said, folding her arms across her chest. I still think we should catch up on Game of Thrones instead. Yeah, but you got outvoted, Naruto said, so there. As he stick his tongue out at her, as Ileana did the same, as the both of them were acting childish. Owen then spoke. Shiri just finished the list you asked for. I figure you should be there for debriefing. She's very excited about it, said Ileana. She's all nervous and businesslike. It's pretty cute. I'm glad you think our youngest member is so amusing, Naruto said, as he get up and started to walk out of the gym. How long was I out anyway? Just for a few minutes, Peter said. All your clones decided to pop, and Miss Ju decided to go get dressed for the meeting. Is this a Watchers only meeting or? Peter asked. Infinters, kid. Sorry about that, Naruto said. Infinters? Said Ileana. It was either that or Watchman, and seeing that 3/5 of this group is women, I figure, who give a damn about that, Ileana said. Just call out Watchman and get it over with. Alright, jeez, Naruto said, as he looked at the retreating Peter. Hear that, kid? You can call out Watchman now. Ain't that neat? Peter laughed while going up the stairs. Sure thing, boss, he said. As the kid started to climb the stairs, Naruto with a clone. Make sure the kid doesn't get lost, he said. You know, I already know the order, the clone said, as he simply walked off. Trust issues, said Owen. You have to admit, Naruto said, we all got lost in his place by now, right? The two then finally reached the two Wakanda women. As they did, Jessica walked out. I see you sent the kid away, she stated, as she was now dressed in a pair of tan jeans and long sleeve shirts. Told you, he's not a part of the team, Naruto said. So Shiri, what do you got for us? Peter's gone, Shiri said, ignoring the question. Okoi swatted the girl's arm. Time and place, she said. Right, said Shiri as she grumbled a bit. So I compiled that list you asked for. It was harder to find unregistered supers who hadn't retired under the Solar Courts. So the list isn't that long as you thought. Naruto nodded. Less work for us then, he said cheerfully. It also means a lot of the people who would have benefited aren't there anymore, Jessica said. Alright, Shiri said, I think I'll start with the West Coast. First we got Miguel Santos, aka Living Lightning. From news sources, the man like he can control electricity to an insane next, Naruto said. Shiri looked at Naruto. What? I can already do lightning stuff, and I'm sure Ileana can do that as well. She can do that witchy watcher gesture with her hand. We don't need another. Why don't you let the princess finish before coming to a decision? I have seen this list. And trust me, you should be happy with whatever you get. Alright, fine. Shiri, please continue. Shiri then went back. There is nothing on how he gained this ability. But there is some rumors that he gained it through an accident involving AIM. He usually targets gang in California. Lately though, he's been branching out to meta-human criminals. Oh, I did some research into that, and it turns out there has been a meta-human outbreak in the West Coast, with little to nothing being done to combat these new superpower criminals. That is what happened when 95% of superheroes are stated in New York City, Jessica said. This is a recent issue, only going far back as a few years now. Maybe we just noticed, but there are 20 amount of times undocumented meta-humans undocumented, she said. How many of the documented ones signed the accords, Owen asked. Around 55%. 20% retire, and the others are going against the Accords in what way they can. Ileana nodded, and those are who we're going for, right? Naruto nodded. Please continue, Shiri. Right, so Santos is Euler's scene through Los Angeles, so that's the best place to go for the first part. That's all I can find without hacking into the LAPD and CIA databases. Something you told me not to do, she said. So I guess we'll move on to Jennifer Walters, or as I like to call her, She-Hulk. Shiri, quick note, if we manage to recruit her, don't call her that, alright? Giggling, Shiri continued. Alright, so She-Hulk was pretty easy to find information on, considering her close next to Bruce Banner. A big-time lawyer, she and her boss were prosecuting a big mob boss. Apparently, they threatened her to back off, but she and her boss continued with it. A few days before the trial, both she and her boss were shot outside their homes. Her boss was dead on arrival, Jessica was in critical condition. Bruce Banner only matched his relative with a same blood type offered to donate blood for a transfusion. She survived, but there was major side effects. A picture came up on the screen. One side was Jennifer Walters, a beautiful woman in perfect condition, and on the other side a picture of what she had become. Her skin was a pale green, her brown hair darkened to a deep black. Her once thin build was gone, replaced with pure muscle that was barely hidden by the hospital gown to cover her. According to her charts, the change was permanent, Shiri said. Jennifer went from 5'3" to 6'2", and now 200 pounds of pure muscle. Unlike her cousin, when transforming into the Hulk, he has a total different personality that runs off rage. Jennifer kept her personality, but she has a more aggressive talk. But she's still Jennifer Walters. She's also not as physically powerful as her cousin, but she can punch through pure concrete as she's reported to do. Naruto rubbed the back of his neck. I definitely maybe, said Jessica. The woman's a smarter version of the Hulk. What's about that a maybe? Maybe it's because he slept with her, Ileana said bluntly. Everyone turned towards her. In my defense, this was before she got all Hulk. Why does that matter? Okoye asked. It does, Naruto said. I'm just saying that's all. Jessica sighed. Are there any other members of the team that you slept with that we should know about? Possible. No, Naruto said. But he eyed Ileana as Okoye, and Jessica saw that. Pig, Okoye said, turning her nose up at Naruto. Naruto rubbed the back of his head. Shiri, can we please continue with the debriefing? Okay, to camp off the west coast, we have Hope Van Dyne. She is the daughter of Hank Pymp. Her shield file says she has access to her father Pymp particles. That and there have been reports of a giant ant roaming around San Francisco. Which I don't think that is a coincidence since that her dad, shield moniker is Ant-Man. Which, by the way, you Americans really need to come up with better superhero names. Adding man or woman to whatever it is. Your power resemblance is so lame. Right, Jessica said. As Shiri giggled to remember that Naruto has been calling her Spider-Woman. Anyway, and there's the East Coast. Here in New York City actually. Two of these guys are vigilantes. One of who I have the identity of. The other was pretty easy to get information on, consider that he's an ex-convict. The ex-con name is Carl Lucas. Nowadays he go by Luke Cage. He's got a pretty large social media following, with a few videos of him showing off his power. The man is a walking tank. Apparently bullets bounce off him like Nerf darts. Could be a solid backup if Jennifer Walters deny your offer, which seems likely now, said Jessica. A small video came up from Twitter that showed Luke Cage as he took a baseball bat to the head without blinking. Definitely a good second string choice. Good work, Shiri, Naruto said. Thanks, she said. The second is a blind lawyer out in Hell Kitchen. His name is Mac Murdock. A blind lawyer? Owen said. Scraping the bottom of the barrel, huh? Well, according to his shield file, the incident that made him blind pushed his other senses up to their maximum. There isn't much description, but his file said he's a dangerous hand-to-hand combat specialist. I think he could be useful, Shiri said. He's better than the other fighter Naruto gave me, some millionaire named Danny Rand. And we already got a benefactor, she said. As she coughed in her hand, me, she said. Do we have a lawyer? No. And this is just a guess. Considering everything, we might be needing one of them, or two of them in the future. Owen shrugged. Point taken, he said. Now the last one's a bit of a long shot. Social media has been calling him Moon Knight. There is only one photograph of him and it's not the best quality. He's pretty new to the scene, so there was no file on the flash drive of S.H.I.E.L.D. The public barely even know that he exists. He's pretty much a total unknown, and a last resort if we can't get any of the others in the city, Naruto said as Shuri pulled up the picture, which she buffed up a bit, as only thing that was shown was a man's torso on his head. He was decked out in an all-white business suit, specks of blood staining the jacket, a white mask similar to Parker fabric, A symbol that looked like a crescent moon could be barely made out on the fabric on his forehead. Alright, here's the plan, Naruto said. Jessica and I are going to take the East Coast. Iliana and Owen will take the three here in the city. What about me, Shira said. Who am I going to go with? As Naruto felt Okoi staring at him. Well, I figured that he would stay here, act like the quartermaster and stuff. What? Shira said, but I want to... Naruto is right, Okoi said, interrupting the princess. It is best that you stay here to provide support. Shiri huffed, known better than to argue with the general though. She nodded. Alright, Naruto said. Jessica and I will head out. Iliana, if you can keep me in the loop, that would be fantastic. As he said in a sarcastic tone, you're really not looking forward to this, are you? Jessica said, fine. We will start with Mr. Lucas. As Naruto placed his hand out. Hands in, boys and girls. As everyone placed their hand in, as Iliana smiled, as she looked towards Naruto. Watchman on 3. Alright, Naruto said. 1, 2, 3. Watchman, all of them threw their hands up. And then there was a uncomfortable silence, as that was rather awkward. Alright, if no one's gonna say it, that was hella weird, said Owen. Yeah, Naruto said. We're never doing that again. Time skip. A man named Vance, he was the driver. As he was sitting on the car, he then heard a knock on the window. As he wasn't really paying attention as he turned towards it. As he pulled down the window. As the person was dressed in a thick trench coat. Are you Jennifer Walters? He asked. Yes, the woman said. Are you Vance? From 5 Emerald Limousine. Vance nodded. Vance Axervate, at your service, he said professionally. I'll be your driver today. With a SUV as requested. Jennifer nodded as she opened the passenger door. As she ducked into the car, Vance then felt the car tilted when Jennifer stepped inside. As she looked through the mirror, as she put on her seatbelt. Isn't it a little too late for Comic-Con? He asked. Jennifer's face was covered by a low-hanging baseball cap. Can't a girl just survive the Hulk for the hell of it, she said. Hulk girl, huh? I'm more of a maelstrom myself, he said. Jennifer's jaw clenched at the name. I know I'm late, but I'm in a bit of a hurry. Can you just bring me to the bank? Right, my apologies, he said. As he drove off. Short drive, they arrived at the bank. As Vance looked through the mirror. So what brings you to San Francisco? He asked. Why do you think I'm not from here? She said. Not a lot of people living here ask for private drivers, he said. Business, she said. I'm here on business. Oh yeah, Vance said. What kind of business if you don't mind me asking? Personal business. Taking a hint, he looked through the window, waiting for her to get out and leave. But she didn't, as the silence grew too much. Mind if I turn on the radio? Sure, she said. As he turned on the radio, going to one of his favorite stations. As it came on mid-sentence. Uzumaki's statement at the Avengers HQ in New York remains a controversial subject weeks later. We have asked callers to give us their thoughts. First caller is Douglas from Clayton. How's it going, Douglas? Things are going good, Yuki, said Douglas. So what are your thoughts of Naruto Uzumaki being given amnesty from the Solar Courts? Do you think that's fair to the hundreds of others who are being forced to sign and give up their rights to fight freely? Of course it is, Douglas said. It's ridiculous. How can they let someone who isn't even from this planet wander around? And yet people who are actually from the planet are being forced to sign these accords. If you ask me if one of them is getting a free path out of it, everyone should. And what's the process of being a Doogie chuckle, cutting off Douglas. Sorry, but you seem getting off the topic. Let's just talk about Uzumaki here, and about the Solar Courts. Right, sorry, said Douglas. Look, I respect the guy, I do. All the work he put in to help. Hell, he even killed Ultron for God's sake. But he shouldn't be accepted just because he's from here. He migrated here, he fights his battles here. He caused damage, same as the Avengers. Should be considered liable. Him, Thor, even Captain America. Thanks for the opinion, Douglas, Doogie said. Let's get to the next caller. Victoria, you there? Yeah, Doogie, I'm here, said Victoria. What's your opinion on the Maelstrom and the Solar Courts? I am siding with Uzumaki. The man's a hero, Victoria said. If a good Samaritan go into a burning building to save someone trapped inside, and he busts down the door trapping at someone, should this Samaritan held liable for that door that he break, for the building, or should we just be grateful and thankful for him helping people? What's the point of paying taxes if they don't go towards damage control? Wasn't that division created to take care of any damage caused by the heroes? But what about the human casualties, Victoria? Doogie asked. Thousands died under the lack of supervision from the Avengers. Naruto himself has killed hundreds of people. Where's the due process? Should we have some control over someone Who is willing to step over the justice? Can you change that station? Jessica asks. As he changed the station, he glanced back at her. Not a fan of the maelstrom? Not in particular, no, she said. Vance turned and looked at her. The man saved my cousin's life. He was bleeding out. He got caught by an Ultron drone. Explosion. Naruto Uzumaki just appeared. Hundreds of them. He healed my cousin somehow. And he wasn't bleeding out anymore after just putting his hands on him. That man saved hundreds of people's life on May 22nd. Probably even more. He's a good man. Jennifer looked up. Good people aren't perfect. I have experienced that firsthand. Her eyes catch something pulling out of the bank side entrance. See that armor truck? Yeah, Vance said. Follow it, she said. What? Follow it, she said. Come on. Before you lose sight of it. Alright, he said as he stepped on the gas. As he started to follow the truck through the traffic. As he kept an eye on the truck, so why are we following a bank truck exactly? Keep two cars apart, Jennifer told him. I have a vested interest in who else is following the truck, she said. As another car came in sight, a white one. What do you mean, who else? Wait, are you saying that someone is following us right now? Vance asked. Jennifer shook her head as then a large van passed them and went behind the truck. Get into another lane now, she said. He did as she said as he got into the lane to the right as he watches a van pass a bank truck. Suddenly, the van door then swing open, revealing 4 people. A man dressed in an all-black tactical suit with a black dome over his head stepped in front of the group, pulling out a rod that was about 3 feet long as he threw it right in front of the road in front of the bank truck. As the moment it made contact, it split the road open in a size boom, with the concrete shooting up as the truck rammed straight into the slab of concrete, causing it to come to a violent stop. The van then came to a stop as well, the 4 people jumping out. A woman dressed in a purple and black tactical suit with a device strapped to her arm. As Vance and Jennifer passed them. Stop the car, Jennifer said. You can't be serious. Stop the goddamn car, she shouted. As Vance stopped the car and Jennifer stepped out, a man dressed in a red tactical suit placed his hand on the bank truck as it started to vibrate rather deadly as a window panel shattered. As he gave a quick wave to the drivers. Sup, he said. Speed demon, stop messing around, a man said as he jumped out. His suit resembled a modern knight. It was white and blue, light armor pattern and helmet. He pulled out a blade boomerang from his lower back. Sir Boomerang, Speed Demon said, as he punched the drivers in the face, knocking them out. Opening the door, he threw the drivers out of the truck. Hey, 8-Ball, Beetle, there should be another guard in the cargo hold. Deal with him. The two nod. 8-Ball, the man with the dome covering his head, the black dome, nodded. I'll deal with him. Beetle shoved her buzzsaw gauntlet into the door hinges. As she cut through the metal, 8-Ball prepared to attack the guard inside. Meanwhile, the driver in the van spoke. We got incoming, Boomerang. Boomerang looked behind him as he saw Jennifer as she pulled off her oversized coat and her ball cap as she was wearing a grey cotton tracksuit underneath. So, you're the B team, she said. I guess, Boomerang sang. And who are you supposed to be? Hulk girl? Kind of, Jennifer said. That's why I'm here. I need to see him, your leader. Boomerang shook his head as he went into a fighting stance. Sorry, but that can't happen. Yeah, it is, Jennifer said. With nothing left to say, he threw one of the boomerangs straight towards her neck. Jennifer ducked underneath as she dashed forward, but the boomerang came around back and smashed into her back. The sound of fabric reached Boomerang's ears, but the woman barely acknowledged it. As she continued to run towards him, he raised his arms up barely in time as she delivered a backhand as he slammed into the armored truck, denting it with his body. Jennifer checked the large tear on her back, causing her to groan. She glared at him. Do you know how expensive these tracksuits are? Boomerang stumbled to his feet. Speed, a little help. Speed Demon zooms by, rushing into Jennifer's guard. With a flurry of jabs, he delivered several blows all around her body. But she looked unfazed. Realized that he wasn't doing much. He retreated. Standing beside Boomerang, he asked, any ideas? We just need to hold her off. Once Beetle and 8-Ball get what we need, you get the money and we're out of here. Meanwhile, Beetle cut through the hinges as the door fell. As it did, 8-Ball threw the rod inside the weapon, tearing through the guard's chest. Looking inside, 8-Ball smiled. Speed, you're up. Speed, now at 8-Ball's side, spoke. I'm tagging you both in. The two tilt their head in confusion to see Boomerang sent flying over the truck, landing in a car, smashing right in it. Jennifer, her tracksuit now had multiple scratches on it and slashed because of Boomerang's weapon. As she came close to the armored truck, a rod connected with her temple. A seismic blast came upon contact, sending Jennifer flying. as she smashed into the car next to her and bounced off it into the freeway. She shook it off as she noticed something above her, a beetle with a pair of cybernetic wings. As the beetle pointed her gauntlet towards Jennifer and opened fire. Jennifer quickly moved as a powerful blast of energy destroyed the ground where she was. Concrete and steel go flying with Jennifer rolling away from the blast. As she finished the roll, a black spear rolled underneath her. Suddenly, it revealed an 8 on it as it started to blink, a bright red. Boom! Jennifer was thrown back by the explosion as she smashed into another car. People were screaming and fleeing the scene as panic filled the area. As Speed Demon was rushing and getting the bags from the armored truck back into the van. Overdrive peeked his head through the window. As he looked at Speed Demon, "We good?" "No," said a voice. Overdrive jumped. Someone was standing on the hood of the van. "Nah, I think you pissed her off," Naruto said. As the car that Jennifer was thrown under was blown away as she stepped out as she was furious, as her clothes was all shaggy and messed up. She glared at 8-Ball. "You're dead." Overdrive, who was startled by Naruto, slammed his foot on the gas pedal. "Overdrive, don't," Speed Demon said, a duffel bag still in his hand. Naruto kneeled down. "Yeah, Overdrive, don't." As Overdrive pulled his gun and pointed at Naruto, but the ground crumbled up in his hand. The back of the car then got smashed, making the back scrape on the ground as Naruto used his magnet release. As the car then swiveled out of all directions and slammed into another car, as the airbag slammed into Overdrive. As Naruto jumped off, as he saw Jennifer, as she knocked out Beetle by grabbing her into a full Nelson and slamming her into the ground. As she then rushed forward and grabbed 8-Ball by his helmet, as the helmet cracked and bends under her force. He threw several punches into her chest and her stomach, trying to make her let him go. But that failed as she crushed the helmet in her hand. Letting him go, he stumbled back, as she then spotted a kick him right in the chest, as he flied into the armored truck. He felt limp, his torso broken by the woman's mighty kick. Boomerang, who finally got to his feet, realized that his group was taken down, or in Speed Demon's case, fled. "That son of a bitch," he said as he spit out a glob of blood. Jennifer was glaring at him, as Jessica was there looking at him, and Naruto was just smiling. He knew he was screwed. "I surrender." Police sirens started to go off, their lights flashing in the distance. Boomerang looked at Jennifer. "You want to know about Leader, right? I can." A ding sound came from his helmet, as it was a communication way with someone laughing on the other side, as his helmet then exploded, as his body dropped to the ground. "What the hell?" Jessica said. Before Naruto or Jennifer could say anything, similar noise came from the other helmets, as they exploded. Naruto looked around at the 4 headless corpses. "Holy crap," he said. "Why the hell are you here?" Naruto turned, as he looked Jennifer in the eye. "Long time no see," he said. A distance away, Speed Demon came to a stop, as he clutched his side, as he leaned up against a building, as he was now in Texas, as that was at least 7,000 miles. Reaching a metal door, he slammed his hand on it, as the ice slot opened. "You're alone," a voice said from the other side. "Yeah, we met some resistance," Speed Demon said. "Some hot-looking chick. And also, Naruto Uzumaki. I had to ditch when our ride got taken out. I managed to get some though," he said as he raised the duffel bag up. "It's not much, but it's something." "Something?" A voice on the other side said. Speed Demon heard several latch went off, as the door opened up to reveal Emil Blinsky on the other side. He was dressed rather simply with a Hawaiian button-up shirt, and a black t-shirt underneath, with his handgun behind him. "Get in," Emil said. Speed stepped in, as he was led through the large rear room. Leaning up next to the stack of crates was a person, his body different color, orange, blue, purple, and green. He was practically vibrating with barely contained energy. Their name was UFO, 4 men and women who were once different people, but they were now a superpowered being. Next to what looked like some working station was a young, slick man, with his hair slicked back. He was Tyrannus, the Roman sorcerer, and finally his back to everyone sat the leader himself, sitting in front of several television screens. Samuel Stern watched several news outlets watching the robbery, and the reporters talking about it, as some people managed to get video clips. He shut off the TV as he turned. His skin was a dark, disgusting green, as his skin was engorged to a alarming degree. "The others are dead," he said, "if you weren't aware." "What?" Speed said. "Why?" Boomers was about to let Miss Walters and Uzumaki on her whereabouts. Sadly, it seemed likely the other members of their crew was going to talk as him. "Which leads us to you, Speed Demon." "Me?" Speed said. "I came back. I brought you as much as a score as I could," he said, throwing the duffel bag at Samuel's feet. Samuel didn't even look at the bag. His eyes remained on speed. That's a fraction of what I asked for. I wanted the entire contents of that chuck. Not a single portion, 5% out of 100, is very embarrassing. And consider that you're all that is left, the fault is all on you. Speed Demon had nothing to say, only fidget, as the entire room glared down at him. What do we do with him, UFO asked, his four voices overlapping. Isn't it obvious, Emil said, as he looked over to a door. Soldier boy, we got someone for you. A figure stepped out from the shadowway, his heavy footsteps echoed, as he slowly reached the group. Speed Demon panic only increased as the Winter Soldier reached his side. The 100-year-old Hydra sleeper agent, dressed in a dark blue jacket and black running pants, with his prosthetic metal hand. Barnes frowned. I'm not killing him. Oh really, Emil said. Has Shield, Golden Boy, Assassin, Extraordinaire gone soft on us? Cause if you ask, well, what's the purpose of you being here? No one's killing anyone, Samuel said, as he looked at Emil. I'm the reason you're out of that cryo sleep. Don't make me regret it. Speed Demon was relieved that he was going to be killed. What's next then, boss? He asked. Because of your blunder, I suppose you have to resort to a more drastic measure. Sounds fun, Tyrannus said. It's about time we all get out to play a little. Don't get too excited, Samuel said. Because of the solar quartz, anything too fancy will bring the Avengers down on us. That means what we're going to do is going to be rather low-key. And I think I know the exact thing he said. Time skip. Naruto and Jessica Joe managed to convince She-Hulk to join the Infinity Watchers, as Naruto promised her that he could use the stones to turn her back to normal. Illyana failed to recruit anyone, with Daredevil got recruited by Captain America, who has now formed his own version of the Avengers, the Secret Avengers. They were Captain America, Falcon, Moria Hill, and Daredevil. Naruto, now comfortable with his team, take them to his home world. Unsealing the Infinity Stones that he managed together, he showed them just how powerful the stones are by merging them with his six-path chakra. As Naruto was about to leave, he realizes that there are other people in Konoha, aside from Infinity Watch, as Naruto was outraged to find a Skrull colony held up in Konoha. As he was about to confront these Skrull intruders, he was attacked by Carol Danvers. As the two duke it out, the Skrulls informed the rest of the Infinity Watch that they were looking for a new home, safe from the Kree. Naruto and Captain Marvel eventually reached a truce, allowing them to stay on his home, offering to help them build a village on the outskirts of Konoha. A year go by, with Naruto and his team growing closer as a unit. Illyana learned how to utilize a magical version of Sage Mode. Owen Reese now has a greater control over his power now, a powerhouse. Jessica bond with She-Hulk, forcing her to question her loyalties. And Shuri developed a belief that Wakanda should open themselves up to the rest of the world, much to her brother's annoyance. In this time, Naruto and Luke Cage and Jessica Jones stopped the cult that has been burning people alive. A large part of this year resolved around Naruto and Wanda, budding relationship. Eventually, the both of them open up to each other as they bond over their mutual loss. However, behind the scene, Helmet Zine has been planning and gathering allies with the help of Taskmaster, the Chameleon, and tech provided by the Vulture. He set his plan in motion. We then had another small time skip. It's May 2016, and the Solar Quartz are considered an incredible success. So much so that King T'Challa has offered to open aid to the city of Narube that has been struggling with reconstruction after what happened with Ultron. The Secret Avengers are given intel that someone planned to assassinate T'Challa. During his press conference, feeding that intel to Tony, the Secret Avengers provided assistance in the shadows. As they stake out the area, they spotted someone planting a bomb in the conference building, but they failed to stop it, and T'Chaka was killed, and Black Knight, who got injured, trying to save him. Unable to prove who was behind the attack, the press and everyone blamed the Secret Avengers meddling. A week later, Naruto, She-Hulk, Magic, Spider-Woman and Molecule Man were doing practice field run to help build their teamwork. Because the mighty Avengers and Secret Avengers has been focused on big things, they did not notice a small group of superhumans that has been wreaking havoc in the city of Stamford. As they were fighting off against them, a sniper shoot a superhuman. His name was Nitro, as he had a destructive power and it caused him to self-destruct. The explosion caused a great amount of property damage, but thanks to Naruto there was no casualties. The press go into a frenzy with the CIA stating that the Hydra agent Bucky Barnes was behind both incidents. Naruto goes solo in his request for revenge, preventing any of his team to get caught up with the world government. Tony was sent to apprehend Bucky alive. Steve's team was tracking down him to save him, and Naruto was hunting down Bucky to kill him. While Naruto was hunting Bucky down, it was revealed that the Chameleon and Taskmaster was the one who bombed the building, and Taskmaster was the one who killed Nitro, and is working for Helmet Zemo. Chameleon and Zemo are seeking vengeance for their loss in the Ultron attack, while Taskmaster is doing it all for pay. Taskmaster using the Chameleon to disguise himself as Naruto, and using Voltron's tech to imitate some of Naruto's power, infiltrate the joint counter-terrorist cell in Berlin, searching for some information on Bucky. In his search, he caused mass damage and killed dozens of CIA agents, including Sharon Carter. Meanwhile, when Naruto finally arrived, him and T'Challa gave chase to Bucky. As Naruto arrived on the scene to kill Bucky, he's surrounded by Tony and the Avengers, who reveal what happened in Berlin. Now wanted by the UN, Naruto was forced to retreat as the place was swarmed by police and the Avengers. Wanda, who was present in the reveal, escaped with Naruto. As Naruto and Wanda tried to figure out what happened in Berlin, his team bases was infiltrated by American officers, forcing them to flee. Spider-Woman remained behind, assisting Ross in figuring out Naruto's next move. She is reassigned to Tony's Avengers to replace Wanda. Steve, who was arrested, along with Falcon, is taken to the joint terrorist cell in Paris under the supervision of Eric Ross. And Taskmaster, who was disguised as Naruto, infiltrate Paris building and activate Bucky Berserker mode. During this time, Naruto and Wanda rendezvous with the rest of the team. In Paris, Taskmaster, who was disguised as Naruto, nearly killed War Machine, crippling him. As Bucky, Steve, and Sam fled from Paris, as I believe Zemo is going to activate the other Hydra Winter Soldiers. With both sides of the split, Avengers turn against Naruto, Ross using this to send Tony's Avengers to try and get Captain America to stand down and unite against a bigger threat that is Naruto. Spider-Woman warned Naruto as she had bond with them in their team time. This warning comes just in time as Naruto realized Bucky would know where Chameleon and Zemo would be. As Captain America and Iron Man arrive with their team, as Iron Man tried to convince Captain to help him restrain Naruto so they can try to calm the already terrible situation. It is then that Naruto and his team arrive, Magic She-Hulk, Molecule Man, and Scarlet Witch. Tony and Steve believe that Naruto wouldn't hurt people to get what he wants, so they engage him to try and stop him. The fight leaves with Bucky and Steve getting away thanks to Natasha's betrayal of Tony, and the Infinity Watchers leave after seeing the fighting, the damage it has caused. No one knew that Naruto was tagging along with Steve and Bucky, or that Zemo has revealed that Naruto and Bucky were not behind the attack. After learning this, Iron Man went to assist Steve in Siberia. In Siberia, Zemo revealed to Tony that Bucky was the one who killed his parents, starting a three-way battle between Bucky, Tony, and Captain. Meanwhile, T'Challa is fighting Taskmaster in an intense hand-to-hand battle, all while Naruto watched all of this. As Naruto went and killed Zemo, as he went and visited the Barton family, as he gave them a means to get a hold of him, after leaving with the Infinity Watch group to the outer galaxy, contacting the Guardian of the Galaxy to get junk. Several months go by with Infinity Watchers and the Guardians of the Galaxy all enjoying the downtime on the planet Xandar as they got into a few space-related hijinks. One such escapade involved Quill, long-lost father Ego, as he believed that Naruto was one of his many children, trying to convince Naruto to go to his planet. Things quickly go sideways as Naruto and Quill got into an intense fight with the Celestial. Ego is eventually defeated with the help of Yondu, who joined the Guardians. The two teams then went their separate ways, with the Infinity Watchers looking for any information regarding the Soul Stone. Months later, Infinity Watch receive a stress beacon from Xandar. Thanos is attacking. Arriving at the scene, Naruto is shocked to see that the Guardians and Adora are at the mercy of Thanos and his Black Order. Thanos demands that Naruto turn over all the stones. When Naruto refused, Thanos tried to kill Adora, but she's saved by Naruto. Adora is later revealed to be Nebula, and the real Adora has been with Thanos all along, as Thanos snapped her neck. After threatening the rest of the Guardians, Naruto finally relent, taking Thanos to his home planet. As Naruto prepared to fight Thanos, Thanos told him if he doesn't do as he asks, Xandar dies and everyone on it, billions of people. With the lives of billions of people in his hands, Naruto relented, as he thinks he can find a way to get them back. Returning to Xandar, Thanos put this space, power, and mind stone in his gauntlet, now only 2 stones left. He then revealed that he used the reality stone to put an illusion over the planet, as Xandar was already destroyed a week ago. Now on a war path, try and find the soul stone to not get it in Thanos' hand, Naruto went and go to the Guardians. He asked Gamora if she know anything about where it might be. Gamora told him that she didn't know anything about the stone. Naruto demanded that she stop lying. Nebula, who had accompanied Infinity Watch after the destroy of Xandar, convinced Gamora to tell him. Now knowing that the stone is on Vormir, Naruto headed there by himself, as the keeper of the stone told Naruto that he must sacrifice something he loves to get the stone. Knowing that he cannot go through that kind of sacrifice, Naruto does the only thing he can as he activates Cosmic Sage mode, as he destroyed the planet and the soul stone along with it. As he was exhausted as he floated alone in space, Kurama keeping a chakra cloak up to keep him safe. As he loses consciousness, he's saved by the Infinity Watch and the Guardians. A month after that, Hela make an appearance, seeking Naruto help, as she had a change of heart after her battle with Naruto, as she seeks redemption. She tells Naruto that a beast, Mangog, has been released on the universe. The Mangog was created by the 10th realm, Heaven, right before their destruction by the hand of Asgard. Mangog, a beast, a creature driven by the hate and despair of his creators, is an unstoppable force. The only thing that can end his existence is the very destruction of the thing it hates, Asgard. Until then, it's unstoppable, but Hela believed that Thor may know how to stop it. However, he disappeared. Naruto and Hela traveled to Asgard as they confront the new king, Loki. As Loki told him that the day before Odin passed on, Thor was attacked by a warrior by the name of Betrayal Bill. Bill came from a race that was nearly wiped out by the Asgardians. As the Grand Master promised Betrayal Bill his freedom if he can bring him a warrior of his caliber, as Betrayal Bill defeated the Hulk. Betrayal Bill Thor as his replacement, attacking Thor while he's training with Odin, as he managed to take the hammer for himself by defeating Thor and taking him straight towards the Grand Master. As Naruto, Hela, and Loki went as they entered the arena where Thor and Hulk fight was about to come to its climax, as Naruto fight off the Hulk while Thor and Loki fight Betrayal Bill and Hela fight off the Valkyrie. Thor managed to defeat Betrayal Bill with his fully developed powers, and Hela keep Valkyrie at bay, and Naruto knocks out Hulk and make him turn back into Bruce Banner, as Naruto then killed the Grand Master when he tried to use the colors on Banner and Thor's neck. Now free and feel indebted to Naruto, Bill helped Naruto stop Mangog, as now Thor, Hulk, Valkyrie, Hela, Loki, and Betrayal Bill and Naruto go to Asgard, as just as Mangog arrived. Despite this epic force, Mangog is a force of nature. Realizing there is no other way, Thor gave Naruto permission to destroy Asgard to weaken Mangog, while they leave the Asgardians to escape, as Naruto, Hela, and Hulk held off Mangog. When everyone is evacuated, Naruto activate Cosmic Sage mode and destroy Asgard, fulfilling Hela prophecy. With Hela and Naruto, they destroyed Mangog after his weakened, as Nebula was captured, as she was tortured, as she was forced to reveal that Naruto destroyed the Soul Stone, as Thanos turned his sights on Earth, where the Time Stone was, with Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange get a warning from Magic that Thanos is coming to Earth for the Time Stone, as Magic called to warn Naruto. The Asgardian ship that Naruto and the others were on were invaded by Thanos' army. Their ship is boarded and nearly destroyed, but most of them managed to escape thanks to the help of Naruto. Doctor Strange went to Tony Stark telling him about the situation, as Thanos soldiers arrived. As Doctor Strange was about to be taken, when Naruto, Thor, and Hulk arrived, along with the Asgardians reinforcements, as they kill all of them off, as they wait for Thanos' arrival. Thanos then brought his entire army down to Earth. They converge on Earth to distract the Avengers, while Thanos deal with the Time Stone. On Earth, Tony reunite with Naruto, along with Captain America's secret Avengers, who all go to Wakanda to try and get more forces. The Guardians of the Galaxy and the Infinity Watchers, all of them are brought to Earth by Naruto, completing the defending side, along with the Wakandans and the United Nations military. As the battle was about to begin, Doctor Strange looked into the Time Stone for every possible future outcome that is about to come, with him only seeing 2 future where victories occur. Knowing that he will be needed in the upcoming conflict, he hid the Time Stone in the stars above Earth. The first wave came at those monstrous dogs at the force field of Wakanda, as Captain America and Black Panther opened the force field as they took them on head on. Another force came and attacked the city, forcing the Wakandans to split apart and protect their home. But they are fought off with the help of the Guardians and Infinity Watchers. A break in the fight ends with the death of Corvus Glaive, Loki, and Heimdall. The Centaurians and Thanos then arrive. Thanos alone defeated Iron Man and Captain America and the Avengers, killing Captain America and nearly crippling Hulk. Thanos then stepped forward as he met up with Naruto and Doctor Strange. As their fight started to cause damage around the area, Tony rejoined them in the fight. Naruto, weakened from overusing his Cosmic Sage mode, can do nothing as Tony is nearly killed by Thanos. In order to save Tony's life, Doctor Strange gave up Time Stone. With this victory, Thanos went towards the planet that Naruto destroyed, as he revived the planet with the Time Stone. A recovered Naruto followed them, with a Harishing seal that he placed on the gauntlet. Just after Thanos sacrificed Gamora, as Naruto went all out fighting him, trying to stop him before he can. Thanos, who was now on par with a cosmic beam, like death or eternity, pushed Naruto to his limits as Naruto tried to keep him from snapping his finger. Naruto was one running on fumes after a full days of fighting, think that he's gonna fail, but realized that he's getting a chance of redemption. After failing to save his people, he get a second win. He used the Harishing seal as he attacked the stone themselves with the truth-seeking balls, destroying the stones and the gauntlet. The explosions from the stones destroyed the arms of both Naruto and Thanos, as the two bleeding out. Thanos, near death, wondered if any of this was worth it. As he died, he wondered if he'll see Gamora one more time. Back on Earth, the battle ended, as Earth lost a lot, as Jessica Drew died, and Yondu, and Captain America, and Loki, their deaths weighing on everyone. Naruto then arrived by Harishane as he passed out immediately. Waking up a day later, Naruto tells Tony that Thanos is dead, and the stones are destroyed. This victory is bittersweet as Naruto heard about the deaths, and they went to the funerals. Later after that, Naruto and Wanda were staying with the Bartons. The two sit down and watch the sunset while sitting on the porch, as Wanda asks Naruto if they will be staying on Earth for a while, as Naruto told her why not, and they should also find a house to stay, as she just rests in his arms, as the both of them watch the sunset. And yeah guys, that's the end of that guys. I hope you enjoy, even though this part was just basically a summary of what just happened in the last part. But don't worry guys, because you know, my what ifs, my original what ifs are coming up soon, and you guys seem to enjoy those, so don't worry about anything. You guys will be hearing a lot of new what if soon, and just stay tuned, and I hope you guys enjoy each and every one of them. But for now, I'm out of here. Peace.